Oh no, Michelle, I know you're gonna hate this topic. I know you're gonna hate this
What is
topic.
it? Now I'm nervous.
I'm sorry in
You're
advance.
sorry in
I'm sorry
advance.
in advance. I was thinking the best way to tell you about it, and
Oh, God. Is
I
it
think
Michael Jackson?
no,
Are
no,
you
no.
sure it's not Michael Jackson? Because I sent you
Because
that one video. Did you get that? It was while you were in, I don't know what
where
country you were in, but it was just someone going, hee hee, hee hee.
welcome to Scary Mystery Surprise.
Where we talk about scary things that surprised us around the internet.
I'm Edwin.
I'm Michelle.
Anyway, it's not Michael Jackson. I do have to ruin this surprise though, because we need to give a warning. If you are afraid of rats,
Oh, you shit.
please skip the episode. We will see you in the next one, or listen to one or previous one.
I guess I'll be skipping this episode
No,
too.
Michelle, you need to stay.
Fuck. Oh, okay, I guess I'm here.
The location: the second floor apartment on Pacific Street in Brooklyn, New York. The person involved, a graphic designer. She was having a regular night, doing the dishes, taking care of some stuff around the house. She lifted the kitchen garbage bag when suddenly a rat leaped out and, quote, parkoured off her leg and disappeared behind the oven.
No. Oh, I can visualize that too well. It's just a nightmare.
Location: 112th Street in Manhattan. A woman, a public health analyst, watched a rat flip over while stuck to a glue trap, pry itself out, and run away. Those glue traps, man, like they're just not effective. So, I think I cried about something like that when I was a kid because it got stuck to my shoe.
What, a glue trap?
Yeah, I stepped on one. Anyway, these stories are on an article on the New York Times all about rat horror stories, believe it or not, which is what we'll be talking about today.
Oh, well, happy Halloween to me.
There was a movie that I watched. It's not a movie, it's a short series by Guillermo del Toro it's on Netflix. I think it's called Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. There's a story on there about rats, and I was just like, yeah, rats are pretty scary. And then I remember you're afraid of rats. And then I started looking into this, and then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't make fun of Michelle for being afraid of rats because this is pretty terrible. Pretty terrible stuff.
Thank you. I told you next it'll be everyone figuring out how terrifying Michael Jackson is.
It was a little after noon on a Saturday when a man named Leonard walked up to a bus stop in a neighborhood of the Bronx. When a hole opened up on the sidewalk and Lenny fell straight down. I don't know if he goes by Lenny. I just assume.
Well, you know, it's a familiarity. You're taking a liberty, but that's okay.
People were freaking out, running toward him, and they saw him 12 to 15 feet deep in this hole in the ground, full of rats.
No!
Yeah, rats were crawling on him, and he didn't want to yell because he was afraid that there were going to be rats inside of his mouth.
Oh my god. Also, rats are so greasy.
Oh, they shine. They're just wearing, like, they have gel all the time. It's just like this. No, it's like oil.
Yeah. Well, they leave grease marks when they walk. So, like, if they're running around your walls, they leave, like, a trail of body grease. Anyway, continue. We're back with Lenny in the hole.
For half an hour, he was in there until firefighters got him out. His head and arm were injured, but the guy refused to talk to the news outlets, directing everything to a lawyer. Good on him. Those streets need to get fixed. Lenny, I hope you get $50 million off of your thing. Just
I hope so too.
from Scary Mystery Surprise.
Nightmarish thing that I would not recover from.
Anyway, I don't know if you remember that video of the rat taking the slice of pizza, Michelle. Do you
Yeah, of
remember that?
course, Pizza Rat.
Like, yeah.
Of course.
Pizza Rat.
Everybody knows Pizza Rat.
Well, I don't know. Some generations don't, but yeah, I looked it up again.
Generations. I don't think it's been around long enough to be a total.
It came out in 2015, right?
Yeah, but that's not like Gen Z knows what Pizza Rat is.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
If you're Gen Z, Please write in if you tell us Scary Mystery Surprise if you know what Pizza Rat is. Thank you.
There are some people that study stuff like this. I didn't know. There's this one guy, Bobby Corrigan, who is an urban rodentologist with a PhD and a master's degree in rodent pest management.
You. Although I feel like I should probably marry him because I hate this so much that it would guarantee that I'd never have to deal with it again, ever.
Unless he collects specimens, so you have to see.
Which he might, and that would lead to a divorce.
This guy said that when restaurants, and therefore trash, were becoming less frequent on the streets in New York because of the shutdowns, rats were actually turning on each other like cannibals, like wars against, they were just eating each other. It was weird. They would eat their own babies and stuff, and it was intense. An exterminator in Manhattan and Brooklyn had noticed an astronomical increase in rats, saying that they were healthier than ever and that they're big, either fat or pregnant. So they're doing well by U.S. standards. Location: Indiana, Evansville. Medics were called to a home on September 13th. A father had called saying that he woke up and found his baby covered in blood.
Oh my God.
When they went inside, they found the place completely messed up. Trash all over, poop on the floor.
Oh, God.
And rats. The baby, 6 months old, had been bitten by rats more than 50 times.
Oh my God.
Multiple fingers almost bitten completely off.
What the fuck?
Eventually, the baby died. The other 4 children were taken from those people, which, both the parents and the mom's sister who were living there were arrested on child neglect charges. Goodness. Just is nasty. Just the rats eating somebody is just stuff of movies. It just shouldn't.
I don't know. Rats are opportunists, but I don't get why baby fingers are like an opportunity. You know?
Oh, jeez. It's disgusting. In 2017, an article came out about a French girl with disabilities that was, I think she was, what's it called, quadriplegic? Or she had issues, mobility disabilities, and was covered in rat bites after a pack of rats swarmed into her bedroom in northern France.
No.
While she was sleeping on the first floor.
Ugh.
She had 45 facial lesions.
Holy shit, that would be terrifying.
150 bites on her hands and 30 on her feet. She survived. Yeah, this is the one where blood was coming out of the ears. Fingertips were missing. The surgeon couldn't, they couldn't fix that because they were missing. Just overall, just a terrible, terrible situation. Again, in this case, the father was suing the landlord because the trash in the front was overflowing, which is, a way to attract rats because they like trash.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they won, again, $50 million. A 3-month-old baby was attacked and eaten alive by rats.
What?
Oh, yeah, I started off with the shocker here. This is terrible. After her mom left her at home alone to go partying in 2016. Jeez. When the mom got back, she saw, the scene. It was, again, graphic. We're getting graphic here. The tongue, eyes, and fingers had all been eaten, according to the neighbor. The neighbor also said that this woman must rot in jail.
Yeah, big time.
But I do want to show you a picture of the giant rat that they were referring to, though. There's a bunch of giant rats, and you're going to want to vomit looking at this thing. How can I show you?
Oh, my God. It looks like a possum.
So a bunch of those against the little baby. Oh, I'm getting weird, nauseous.
Are you going to throw up now?
Anyway, I saw an article on history.com about investigations and a whole decade of documents, being explored on evidence about this stuff on, in the 1340s, what happened, Michelle? Do you know? You know what happened?
The plague?
Yes. I knew you were going to get that.
There's not a lot of other events if in the 1340s or whatever that you could be like, what else happened? I don't know. The Crusades, I guess.
I remember this from back in middle school. I had to look this up again. But I know that, tens of millions of people died. A huge chunk of Europe's population died. They had fevers, they had chills, they had vomiting, they oozed blood, they oozed pus, and finally they died.
So you kill all the cats that could actually kill the rats? Anyway, sorry. I have some passions about the Black Death and the people of the Middle Ages. I have some thoughts and some passions.
There was this article actually that mentioned something that you said right now. It's called, I have the link here. Stop blaming the rats, the real Black Death causes.
What'd they say?
But it just says that humans were the ones that are responsible for it, and not the rats because of, it's just a theory. Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but either way, we're trying to defend rats here, and rats are the enemy, so let's just not do that. Another solution.
Yeah, why have we all of a sudden jumped camps and all of a sudden rats are okay? Like, I'm not quite sure. It literally ate a baby. I don't know if they caused the plague or not. I don't know.
Another solution, though, is to eat them. But and when you're trying to survive out in the wild, they give you instructions on how to eat rats and to make jerky out of them.
That I'm less opposed to because a jungle rat feels better than a New York City baby eating rat.
That's right.
Like, I don't want a pizza rat. I don't want to eat a pizza rat. I might be fine with eating an untouched rat that's out in a jungle somewhere. You know what I mean?
Like grass-fed, organic.
Grass-fed, organic rat, that's totally different. That's a totally different scenario, and I am not saying no in a survival situation. In the tunnels of New York, they might also do rat meat burgers. Those people that live in the tunnels in New York.
Or just in New York in general. Like, you don't know what you're eating.
And once again, hot dogs, very questionable. Always questionable. We don't know. Human, rat.
Oh, God.
Could be it all.
Have you heard of rat torture?
No, but I have like a faint guess of what it is. I mean, I'm assuming they're using like rats to torture somebody.
Yeah, you're not actually torturing a rat, but yeah, you're using rats to torture like criminals and stuff. I found a few. It's just, I was looking up all the creepy things about rats, and I found these. Apparently, the Dungeon of the Rats was a feature of the Tower of London, alleged by the Roman Catholic writers from the Elizabethan era. A cell below high water mark and totally dark would draw, and rats would get in there. As the tide flowed in from the river, flesh would be torn from their arms and legs.
Oh, God.
There's also a method where a pottery bowl would be filled with rats and was placed upside down on the naked body of a prisoner. Then hot charcoal would be piled on the bowl, and rats that would be inside would gnaw into the very bowels of the victim in an attempt to escape the heat.
Oh, my God. Oh, my
This was
God.
during the Dutch Revolt. Anyway, also rat torture was used by several South American military dictatorships in Brazil, Uruguay, Chile, Argentina. Man, all these people.
That's scary, man.
There was one.
So simple. Yeah. So simple. The rat torture is so simple and effective.
God, I just read one that I didn't want. Okay. This is from a Wikipedia page. In Argentina, God, it's hard. They detail the use of a torture method known as the rectoscope.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. Which consisted of inserting living rats into a victim's rectum or vagina through a tube.
God. Oh, my God.
God. Okay.
Well, here on Scary Mystery Surprise, We were not expecting that.
Yeah. It's just I'm reading through them right now. This is bizarre. Like there was one about serial killer Richard Kuklinski.
Ooh, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, we got to look him up. Alleged in a series of interviews that one of his preferred methods of murder was to tie up a victim and leave them in a cave overnight so that they would be eaten alive by rats. He would also leave a Super 8 camera in the cave to film the events, but this was disputed due to a lack of evidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, how does he know all those rats are going to be in the cave at once? And they're not like skittish rats. You know, a lot of rats are still skittish. Not the New York
those
rats.
are aggressive.
But other rats. Yeah. New York rats are
evil.
Not. They're their own thing.
Oh, God. But anyway, that concludes all my rat info.
Well, now I feel very validated in my fear. As someone who's had rats, you just never quite get over it. And then they sound like bowling balls in the attic, which I also think sometimes when people have haunted houses, sometimes there's stuff in this, like it's rats and mice in the ceiling.
Does this sound like a ball rolling? Or no?
Yeah. Yeah, they sound like bowling balls up there. They like sound way bigger than they are. And it usually starts about dusk. And it's like that time where you start hearing them running around to the ceiling.
Jeez. Well, I've never had rats, but that's terrifying. I used to be like, what are they going to do? They're so tiny. And then I started reading into it. And then I saw how big they could get. I'm like, no. They can actually attack people if provoked. Like, as in, not provoked, but if they're hungry enough, they will. And if they feel attacked, they will. I've never been attacked by anything like that other than a roach. And I'm still kind of afraid of roaches.
How did a roach attack you?
I've told this story and people don't believe me. And I'm like, this happened and it's embarrassing to share it. So why would I even make this up? When I was working in Florida, I was staying at this condo. It was like a rental thing. Imagine Airbnb or whatever. But I would hear noises every once in a while. Like at night, I would hear like and like a little tapping. So you're like, this is weird. I don't know what that is. And I used to have this box that was locked and it was in the bathroom. And I always wondered what was in there because I had like a set of keys. I had like maybe 8 keys in there for everything, for the mail, for everything. But no key opened that lock in the bathroom. And I used to think there was something in there. And I'm thinking there's a rat because I would clearly hear it. It would just be like, anyway, one afternoon, I remember I ordered Chinese food that day. I clearly remember that. And I was in the living room. I was about to turn off the TV and just go to sleep. When I opened up the room, there was this roach on top of a mountain of blankets that I had made because I just forgot to fold everything. And it was just there with this antenna, like that. Just and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh crap. So I was about to go and get a broom to try to shake it off the bed and step on it or kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead it flew right at me, like right at my eyes, like right there. I was able to do this last second where I kind of got part of it and it just fell, like it just went. I didn't know they could fly. I really didn't know roaches could fly. And they're terrible. Like they sound terrible. They just flap like it's a disgusting sound. Anyway, fell to the floor. It looked at me and it just flew again right at me. I'm like, this thing is attacking me. Right? I was able, like, it hit me. It landed on my shoulder. I'm like trying to flick it off. It landed back on the floor. I closed the door and I slept in the living room that day. I didn't, and I put like a towel,
God.
Like a hand towel from the kitchen. I put it on the door. I'm like,
yes, I know that well. I know that move. It also prevents rats from coming through too.
And yeah, like since then, I was just like, the next morning, I remember I needed to get in there to change and shower and everything because the bathroom was in there. And I didn't see it anymore, but still, I was terrified of moving that mountain of blankets. That's when,
yeah, I wouldn't have been able to go to sleep if I had left that. Like, I would have spent the rest of the night hunting that roach. Like, I would have been like, I can't sleep if you're alive. I don't know when you're going to jump out again.
Jeez. And that's when I realized those things can attack. Like, I always wondered, like, oh, if you look at a spider is usually going to be afraid of you. Then I heard that some spiders can and will lunge at you and bite you just because they hate you. I didn't know roaches were like that. I thought they were just going to, freak out and run away. Like all roaches I'd done all my life, even with just turning on the light. But this one just hated me. It was just like, die. And then I kept hearing that noise in the middle of the night, the little tapping. And I always wondered, like, is it going to get me? Is it going to get in my ear? Is it going to...
Well, there was probably more than one in there. I mean, that's the thing, is that there was definitely more than one.
Jeez. Anyway, that's my roach story.
Yeah, that's funny. When I moved to LA, it was the day that I was moving into my spot. And I remember it was like one of my first days in LA, and I'm wearing like shorts, and I'm just like, packing, and like it's hot. And I look down, and there's a massive roach just on my leg, my inner thigh. And I screamed, threw my shorts off, and then just ran up the stairs.
I thought you were going to say right out the door.
No, I didn't run out the door. I ran up the stairs. But luckily, none of my roommates at the time were home, so it was fine. But it was just like, I don't know, I just left my shorts in the middle of the floor. But it was like a huge, like I'd never seen a roach that big, and it was on my inner leg. Like, come on. Rats and cockroaches feel like they go hand in hand.
They're buddies. Yeah.
Why has this episode been so scary? It's making the back of my neck.
Yeah, I got
tight.
chills a couple times, and I started getting like this nervous-y cough. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like it. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about next week, Edwin?
I don't know. Think it'll be a surprise.
I hope so.
Right.
Okay, bye guys.